Part 81. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 813. Sir, Zhenjun, this is freshly brewed tea. Su Jiarong, dressed in Xingyi, came over with a tea tray and served the brewed tea. No need to give it to the fat man, he drinks wine but not tea, Su Junming said. Who said that? Fifth master, can't I drink tea occasionally to clear my mouth? He said and took the teacup. Su Jiarong was very responsible and stepped back after finishing her work. She cherishes these days very much. Although it is not easy to clean the yard, take care of the flowers and plants, and cook every day, it is much easier than when I was running a home by myself. Moreover, although she did not become Mr. S' disciple like her brother, she was still valued by him and gave him a Taoist method. Now that I have started practicing, I feel lighter and healthier, and full of vitality. I don't dare to think about becoming an immortal, but even if I live a long life, Su Jiarong will be satisfied. Watch her go away, and then look at Sun Shi and Su Xian sitting cross-legged under the pomegranate tree, facing the east, meditating with their eyes closed. After examining it for a moment, Tai Zhenjun took a sip of tea from the cup. Su Xian and Su Jiarong, aren't they really the Su Xian in the legend of White Snake? I calculate that he will have a love disaster in the future. If nothing else happens, it will be him, Su Junming said calmly. Aren't you going to interfere? What are you interfering with? I am a religious sect, and my teaching is that all spirits are equal. If I interfere, wouldn't I be slapping myself in the face? Of course, if it is hypocritical, that's another matter. Where's the monkey? A Tai Chi level innate spirit, instead of strengthening the power of Buddhism, it is better to be the protector of our Chongshan Academy. As for the journey to the west, I must have a hand no matter what. Su Junming's eyes were deep. You have an idea? Don't say it, you will know when the time comes. Tai Zhenjun, who was originally in high spirits, suddenly showed a look of relief on his face. Just as he was about to speak, he suddenly stopped. With so many people, it seems that Jing Yesi attaches great importance to this place, Tai Zhenjun said with a smile. Hundreds of people have been killed here before and after, and there are 3 immortals. If you don't pay attention to it, there is something wrong with your brain. I just don't know who is here. You found out soon after you were captured. Su Junming nodded. Here we come. Dong dong. A clear knock on the door sounded. Fei Xiao Cheng, the chief of the southern department of Daqi Jing Yesi, wants to see you. Haha, are you planning to be polite first and then attack? Tai Zhenjun said. In addition to the 2 chiefs of the Jing Yesi division of Qi State, there are 4 division chiefs in the east, south, west and north. Fei Xiaocheng is the chief of the southern division. He must have some influence in the Jing Yesi division, so he can barely meet him. With a flick of his fingers, the closed courtyard door suddenly opened. Come in. King Yu's voice shocked Fei Xiaocheng. Looking at the open courtyard door in front of him, there was a trace of hesitation on his face. In less than 2 months, nearly 100 Jing Yesi gold, silver, bronze, iron, and 4th-level iron guards disappeared silently through the courtyard gate. Although his cultivation has reached the late stage of Yuan Yang true immortal, there is no guarantee that he will be unscathed when he walks in. But at this moment, he couldn't help but continue to hesitate. After taking a deep breath, he stepped inside. After passing through the foyer and bypassing the screen wall, there is a spacious courtyard. In addition to the south courtyard wall, directly opposite, there are 5 large tile-roofed houses facing north and south. There are 3 wing rooms on each side. The open space in the middle is about 200 square meters, which is very spacious. In the middle of the bluestone paved courtyard, near the right side, a pomegranate tree nearly 2 feet high was planted. The tall pomegranate tree is as tall as a canopy, its branches and leaves are as green as emerald, and it is full of vitality. The dazzling scorching sun passed through the gaps in the leaves and sprinkled golden spots. Under the pomegranate tree, a boy of about 7 or 8 years old and a 5-foot golden-haired monkey wearing a green robe were sitting cross-legged on a stone futon. At this moment, they were listening to nothing outside the window and meditating carefully. The child's aura was very weak, and he had obviously just entered the path of spiritual practice. On the contrary, the monkey not only had no demonic aura in his body, but also had a strong moral character and a deep foundation. It was obviously carefully cultivated by the owner here. Seeing it, Fei Xiaokeng's expression was somewhat complicated. It was because of it that Jing Yesi fell deeper and deeper into it from the beginning, to the point where it is now completely difficult to look back. Now it seems that this is not the monster rumored by those foolish men and women at all, but just the disciple or spiritual pet of the master here. If we could figure this out from the beginning, why would we be so passive now? After shaking his head secretly, Fei Xiaocheng looked to the left. Next to a stone table, 2 Taoists were sitting. The one on the left, wearing a green robe, is tall, majestic in appearance, and calm and majestic. The one on the right, wearing a red robe, is fat, with a round face and a sense of joy. From these 2 people, he could not feel the slightest trace of cultivation. But the more this is the case, the more it shows that the other party's cultivation level is far superior to his own. After all, just by looking at their temperament, you can tell that these 2 people are extraordinary. As for the woman next to him, she was simply ignored. There is just a little girl who has just entered Taoism. Fei Xiaocheng, the head of the southern department of Jing Yesi, has met Mr. Su. After killing so many Jingyi guards, Jing Yesi had already investigated a lot about Su Junming from the people around him. You came here with an army, but why did you treat me with courtesy at the last moment? Could it be that you planned to be polite first and then attack? Fei Xiaocheng was startled and said quickly, "Sir, you have misunderstood. I, Jing Yesi, have absolutely no intention of doing so. I just know that the previous bad blood between the 2 parties was just a misunderstanding. Your Majesty is definitely not a monster. So, the purpose of my coming here this time is to resolve this misunderstanding between the 2 parties, to bury the hatchet, and to get back on good terms with each other. You are very aware of current affairs. However, you, Jing Yesi, have called me several times. If I expose this because of your few words of goodwill, then how can I, Chongshan Academy, gain a foothold in the spiritual world in the future?" Following the words, Su Junming released a breath of his own. In an instant, Fei Xiaocheng felt a huge aura like a mountain roar and a tsunami suddenly enveloped him. At this moment, he was like a small boat, bumping in the endless waves. If he was not careful, he would capsize. Fortunately, this feeling comes and goes quickly. Fei Xiaocheng looked at the man in green robe, his expression full of horror. From that breath, he could tell that the other party was definitely not the Yuan Yang Xianxian he thought, but the Yuan Yang Golden Immortal, or even the Supreme Being in the Tai realm. At this moment, he no longer had the slightest chance of taking any chances. Even if it is Yuan Yang Golden Immortal, that is something he cannot afford to offend, and even the entire Qi kingdom must weigh it carefully. If it's the Tai realm. Fei Xiaocheng only felt that his legs were a little weak at this moment. After swallowing his saliva, he said cautiously, "I wonder how Mr. Su can forgive my mistakes. I am not an unreasonable person. I only need Qi State to give up Jingzhou to my Chongshan Academy as a dojo." What? Fei Xiaocheng was shocked. He never expected that the other party's appetite was so huge. There are 12 states in the entire Qi state, and Jingzhou is the largest state among them. It is backed by the Jingshan Mountains stretching 290 million miles across, 12 million miles across, and 8 million miles east to west. It occupies the entire state of Qi. 1/7 of the land can be described as vast. But in this vast land, there are only 50 billion Lishu, which is very rare. The reason for this is because of the demon clan in Jingshan. The huge Jingshan demon clan numbered in the tens of millions, especially the Jingshan demon king, who was a great demon in the Tai realm. His tyrannical strength caused all the 7 countries around Jingshan to suffer greatly. Even so, Qi state never thought of abandoning this land. Taking a deep breath, Mr. Su, even if everyone in Jingyesi dies here, our country, Qi, will never agree to such rude conditions. Whether you agree or not depends on the king of Qi. All you need to do is convey my conditions. Fei Xiaokeng's expression changed. He admitted that the other party was right. Whether he agreed or not was up to the king of Qi to decide. We, the Qi state, will never allow our country to be ceded and occupied. Sir, if you insist on doing so, aren't you afraid that the entire Qi state will rise up to attack it? Don't be afraid. Fei Xiaokeng's expression froze at the clean answer. However, if you don't want to cut off the land, I won't force it on others. Fei Xiaocheng looked happy, but soon his whole body became cold. As long as our Chongshan Academy is opened in every county in the country, children must enter our academy to study as soon as they reach the age of 6. If the former condition is to lose the people of a state, the latter condition is to destroy the foundation of Qi. You can think clearly with your heels. How can students who graduated from Chongshan Academy still cherish the country of Qi? If you agree to this condition, it will only take half a year. All it takes is Chongshan Academy to ascend and shout, and there will be no Qi state in the world. Farewell. Fei Xiaocheng understood that there would be no relaxation between the two parties, so he did not want to continue to waste time. You won't capture him. Su Junming shook his head. It doesn't matter. After all, they are just small pawns. We can just capture them together. Tai Zhenjun was stunned. You won't let me go again, will you? Is there anyone here who is more suitable than you? That kid Ren Lauer has been wandering around all day. Can't we just call him back? Now he is the Liangyi Dang Demon Immortal Lord personally designated by the Jade Emperor. He is stationed in the 9 Heavens Immortal Realm and will never come back easily, Su Junming said with a smile. Tai Zhenjun was surprised. Why did he escape to the immortal world? And became the Jade Emperor's dogleg. If he hears what you are saying now, you will inevitably have another big quarrel. Hey, am I afraid of him? Su Junming shook his head slightly. Although the immortal court in the earthly immortal realm is not as good as the Taoist sect and the Buddhist sect, it is still a powerful force second only to the two. With the name of the heavenly court, many things will be much easier to do. Tai Zhenjun could more or less guess what he was thinking. Major events such as the turmoil in the heavenly palace and the spread of Buddhism to the east are destined to be unable to bypass the heavenly palace. If a chess piece is placed in it, one can accurately grasp the context of this world, plan early, and win in the chaos. Moreover, through heaven, one can peek into the secrets of this world as early as possible and make up for the shortcomings in everyone's knowledge. It seems I can only make one trip, Tai Zhenjun said. Remember, hold the emperor to command the princes. For the time being, we still need to use the skin of Qi to lay a solid foundation. Is it really so troublesome? With the accumulated strength of our Chongshan lineage, it will be easy to sweep across Qi. What determines the outcome of a chess game is often the first move, so I would rather be slower and more cautious than be quick. And don't forget, this is the earthly immortal realm, and our strength is far from that. The best in the world, Su Junming said calmly. Tai Zhenjun nodded. According to your intention, start with Jingzhou first. That's right. Fight for the corners first, and then take the overall situation, Su Junming nodded. It seems that I will be in charge of Handan from now on. Become a disciple of Taoist priest Four Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 814. Looking at the tall pomegranate trees not far away, Su Junming was thinking about his layout in Qi. With the peak cultivation level of Tei True Lord Tei Celestial Immortal, coupled with the middle grade innate spiritual treasure Tei Circle, he can escape unscathed even if he encounters Tei Golden Immortal. There is no Tei Heavenly Immortal in Chi state, let alone Tei Golden Immortal. Therefore, there was basically no problem for him to come forward and surrender to the Chi court. Next is Jingzhou. Although he has the ability to sweep the entire situation, he also prefers to start from the corners and consolidate the foundation bit by bit. He slowly stood up and looked at the familiar yard. After living here for 3 years, it's time to go out for a walk. Come all over. Sun Shi and Su Xian, who had just finished practicing their qi and were finishing their exercises, hurried over. Master. After nodding slightly, he said, my master is going out for a wander. You two should pack up and come with me. Yunyua? Haha, great. Sun Shihao has a deep nature, and he immediately became excited when he heard that he could hang out with his master. Su Xian hesitated for a moment. Master, what should I do with my sister? As a master, I have my own cave world. Your sister Su Jiarong can temporarily stay in my cave world. Su Xian breathed a sigh of relief and became happy. After thanking him, he went to pack his things with his senior brother. It was said to be tidying up, but in fact there wasn't much to take. I had all the magic weapons with me, and there were just a few bits and pieces left and right. On the official road leading to the distance outside Hangzhou City, Su Junming was walking in front holding a bamboo stick. Sun Shi and Su Xian walked on both sides, one on the left and the other on the right. Su Xian, like his master, held a bamboo stick in his hand, but it looked one size smaller than Su Junming's. Sun Shi was dressed in a green robe, carrying a green wood stick as thick as an egg on his shoulder, a monkey head with golden hairs and a flaming thunder mouth. He looked left and right, feeling novel about everything. As time went by, the freshness wore off and I became more settled. Master, where are we going? Jingzhou. Where is Jingzhou? One of the 12 states of Qi, it is in the west. How far? 69 million miles away. Sun Shi and Su Xian had just begun to read. Although they were talented, they learned quickly. But now I still have no idea about 69 million miles. Sun Shi scratched his head and said, Master, how far is 69 million miles? Su Junming smiled lightly. We have traveled about 100 miles since we came out of Hangzhou. 100 miles is 1,000 miles, 10,000 miles is 10,000 miles, 69 million miles, you can do the math for yourself. Sun Shi and Su Xian are both smart people who can tell the truth at a glance. Master, if that's the case, wouldn't we have to go for many years? Su Xian said in surprise. Haha, we are monks. The mana supported the two of them, and with one step, they were hundreds of miles away in an instant. Shrinking the ground into an inch is not a big deal for Su Junming. If it weren't for the purpose of experiencing the richness of the earthly immortal realm and using the celestial elephant gate, it would not be difficult to go to Jingzhou in an instant. Thousands of mountains and rivers were crossed in an instant. Occasionally, he would stop to rest. After all, Su Xian had not yet become inedible, and his energy was far less than that of Sun Shi, an innate spirit body. He needed sleep to recharge his energy. Master, there is a town ahead. Although Sun Shi did not have piercing eyes, he could use the bronze mirror of his Danshan. After Su Junming advanced to the Tei realm, the power of the bronze mirror became several times more powerful than before. Although it was only a projection, it also had the power of seeing thousands of miles away. It's getting late, let's rest here today. After saying that, the three masters and apprentices entered the town along a dirt road about 7 feet long. Bai Chi Town. On the stone tablet outside the town, 3 mottled red characters came into view. After bypassing the stone monument, there is a main road that runs through the town. The road paved with bluestone is not smooth, but it is much better than the dirt road we walked on before. On both sides of the road are two-story buildings with cornices and brackets, row upon row, showing a bit of prosperity. Master, is this town so weird? Sun Shi frowned slightly. Su Junming smiled lightly. Tell me. Yes. This town is next to the official road to the county seat. Judging from the layout and the buildings on both sides, it is also a prosperous and wealthy place. It has just passed the Yashi period, but every house has closed its doors and there are no lights, just like a dead place. If it weren't for it, demons and ghosts cause trouble, and it will never be like this. Along the way, Sun Shi's knowledge gradually became richer, and in line with his innate spiritual acumen, he became increasingly extraordinary. After Su Junming nodded slightly, he looked at Su Xian next to him. There was no strange color on the latter's face, and he had obviously thought of this. But compared to Sun Shihao, who is lively, unrestrained, and outgoing, Su Xian is introverted by nature and doesn't like to talk too much. If he doesn't ask, he won't speak. In your opinion, is it a demon or a ghost? Sun Shi scratched his head and said with a smile, I don't know yet, but now it must be a man-made disaster. Master, look. Looking in the direction of its finger, a flash of light came. The dim lights exude a fatal attraction in this dark town, making people unable to help but draw closer to it. Let's go over and have a look. Su Junming led his two apprentices for about 100 meters, and an inn with 3 floors, a closed door and flickering lanterns and candles on both sides appeared in his eyes. Li's Inn. The 4-character regular script looked a bit eerie under the dim firelight. Shitu, call the door. Sun Shi smiled hee and said, Yes, master. At 6 feet tall, he was no different from an adult. He arrived at the door in 2 steps. He clenched his monkey fist and smashed the door with a loud bang. His words were not polite at all. Bang bang bang. Is there anyone breathing inside? Come open the door quickly, business is coming. The loud voice sounded far away in the dark night. Not satisfied that it was enough, Sun Shi smashed him again. Fortunately, the door was made of thick material, otherwise it would have been knocked down by it. Coming, coming. Stop smashing it. Came an exasperated voice. Where did you come from, this crazy guy? Don't stop now. If you smash the door of my store, I will force you to pay 10 times the compensation. A series of footsteps walked in, and as the door opened, the hoarse sound of the door opening sounded. A rich middle-aged man wearing a royal robe and a square hat appeared in the eyes of the 3 masters and disciples, accompanied by 2 powerful men. Oh my God, you monster! Just as he was about to curse, he suddenly saw the monkey face with red eyes and thunderous mouth under the light. He screamed out in fright, his legs gave out, and he sat down on the ground. His face was full of shock, and he used his hands together and stepped back. The 2 strong men also had pale faces. Although they were holding a 4-foot-long back machete in their hands, their trembling looks showed that they were just 2 appearancers. A bunch of courageous people. Lao Sun is a senior member of a famous family, but how can he compare to those bloodthirsty monsters? Before he finished speaking, all the shops around the inn were opened, and hundreds of strong men armed with swords and clubs rushed out of them. Where is the monster? Catch monsters! Sun Shi looked excited when he saw it. Pulling his right hand, a green light flashed in his ears and eyes, and in the blink of an eye, a big blue stick as thick as an egg appeared in his palm. He looked back at his master with a questioning look in his eyes. Be gentle, they are just ordinary people after all. Hey, don't worry, master. With one move of both feet, he stepped forward to grab it, and the big stick swept, chopped, struck, and stabbed with ease. In an instant, ouch was heard repeatedly, and the rushing crowd was cut down like straw. Don't be so arrogant, evildoer. Look at my green light sword. In the clear and majestic voice, a brilliant sword light spread 10 feet across and struck directly at Sun Shi. "I've been waiting for you for a long time." Sun Shi's face showed a trace of fighting spirit, and the Qingshen Ruyi stick in his palm split Huashan Mountain with lightning force. The powerful force of the stick was like a giant axe, slashing down in the air. Clang! Gold and iron clashed, auras scattered in all directions, and the flying sword light was instantly knocked away. Su Junming saw it and smiled lightly. Although Sun Shi's physical body is no longer the original Tai Chi innate spirit body, his soul is. Coupled with the assistance of the bronze mirror, the understanding of martial arts combat skills is extremely fast. Especially sticks, and sticks are easy to understand at the first glance. In just a few months, his stick skills have become superb and endlessly mysterious. His cultivation has also reached the late stage of Jindan. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 815. Sun Shi rubbed his body and went up again. The green magic stick in his hand bloomed with shadows of the stick, virtual and real, covering half an acre of the square garden, and struck directly at the sword holder. The latter looked solemn and shouted. The azure light sword at hand is like a peacock spreading its tail, transforming into nearly 100 shapes. Under the guidance of his sword technique, he slashed towards Sun Shi like lightning. Bang! There was a loud earthquake. The green light sword suddenly broke, and a sword light was knocked away again. The young man looked shocked and pale, looking at the powerful stick with horror in his eyes. Just as he begged for mercy, his face instantly showed joy. "The monster is rampant." An old voice sounded, and a powerful sword energy nearly 10 feet long came from the sky like a cold lightning. Sun Shi felt the sharpness of the sword energy and knew that the person coming must be a strong man at the level of nascent soul, a level higher than him. However, instead of retreating, he took the initiative to meet him. The ferocious monkey's face showed a strong fighting spirit. He clenched his hands, his energy and blood surged, and the power condensed on the Qingshen Ruyi stick increased to a level. The big green stick, with a mountain-like tyrannical momentum, rushed towards him crazily. Clang! Accompanied by the harsh sound of gold and iron, the people around them covered their ears with painful expressions on their faces. Sun Shi somersaulted and released his strength. The flying sword light broke, and a dagger with flashing treasure flew upside down for more than 10 feet, and fell into a person wearing a soap-colored robe, with gray hair, triangular eyes, and a long and thin face, with a sinister look on his face. In the hands of the old man. The latter looked at Sun Shi with a bit of surprise. He also didn't expect that a monkey demon who was only in the late stage of the golden core could actually block his magic sword with 90% of its magic power. "Old man, give your grandpa a stick again." Su Junming smiled when he heard this. This guy has only been with Tai for a few days, and he has learned bad things from him. Seeing Sun Shi's golden hair moving automatically without wind, shining with golden light, and his originally thin body becoming a bit stronger, you knew that he was going to use his innate magical power. The Lingming stone monkey understands changes, knows the time of the sky, knows the favorable terrain, and can move stars and change battles. Among the 4 monkeys in the world, their magical power is second only to that of the ape, who can grasp the sun and moon, shrink thousands of mountains, distinguish between good and bad, and manipulate the universe. As soon as Sun Shi was born, he had 3 innate magical powers. In addition to the child-mother separation technique and the spiritual investigation technique, the last item of shifting stars and changing battles is the fighting magical power. Once used, it can directly enhance one's own power to a great level. When the cultivation level is low, although this magical power is powerful, it is not too outstanding. But when the cultivation level reaches Tai realm and Aluo realm, and the gap between each realm is as big as heaven and earth. Moving stars and changing battles can still give the host a big realm improvement. That's what's really scary about it. The farther back you go, the stronger the power of this innate magical power. The old Taoist was obviously an experienced person. When he felt the surge of aura on the monkey demon, he knew it was extraordinary. He spoke quickly. "Wait a minute, this is a misunderstanding. Stone, come back." Hearing the master's voice, Sun Shi snorted coldly, restrained his momentum, somersaulted, and stood on the left side of the master. His movements also attracted the expert's gaze. "Master, that monkey demon is really hateful." The young Taoist priest who was injured by Sun Shi complained angrily. Before he could finish speaking, he was interrupted by the old man. "Stop, I know everything. Stand aside." The young Taoist priest who understood his master's temperament stopped instantly, a trace of resentment flashed in his eyes, and he quickly hid it again. Looking at the young Taoist opposite, who was clearly above the monkey demon, 11 Mu could not feel any trace of cultivation on him. But the other party's calm demeanor with endless majesty is definitely not something ordinary people can have. Otherwise, the monkey demon would not be respectful to him despite his extraordinary strength. As for Su Xian, who was still in the foundation building stage, he automatically ignored him. Immeasurable Heavenly Lord, 11 Mu, the direct disciple of Chunkai Temple, has met fellow Taoist. Are you a disciple of Spring and Autumn Temple? The calm tone and calm expression seemed to 11 Mu to be a little condescending. 11 Mu, who was used to being respected no matter where he went in Chi state, couldn't help but feel a little angry in his heart. However, he couldn't see through the opponent's cultivation level, so he didn't dare to act recklessly. "Exactly. I don't know your friend's name. Can you tell me?" "Su Junming of Chongshan Academy." A trace of doubt flashed in his eyes. He had never heard of the sect and its name. After saying that, he turned around and walked towards the inn. "Wait a minute, fellow Taoist. There are evil spirits causing trouble in Baichi town. Since my fellow Taoist has magical powers, I wonder if I can join hands with Pandeo to eliminate the evil spirits. Spring and Autumn Temple is the first sect in Chi state. There are many masters, so why ask a poor Taoist to take action?" While talking, the person disappeared into the inn. 11 Mu's expression changed, and after hesitating for a moment, he finally didn't go in again. "Taoist priest, do you still need to be on guard tonight?" Several local guards in luxurious clothes came over with attentive smiles on their faces. "Of course. That monster is extremely ferocious and has killed 17 people in a row in Baichi town. It's still early before dawn, so be careful not to see it come out to harm people again." What the Taoist master said is absolutely true, but it's just that uninvited guest. You will arrange for a few smarter people to keep an eye on it. If there is any trouble, remember to report it to me in time. "Yes, Taoist priest, don't worry." Several people smiled flatteringly and nodded repeatedly. Let's go back." "Yes, master." After the injured young man responded respectfully, the two of them flew away and soon landed in a rather gorgeous manner. "Master, you are back." A beautiful woman wearing a pink dress, with a slutty look in her eyes and brows, swayed lightly on her lotus steps and hurriedly greeted her. Kinkin's bare hands quickly climbed up the old man's right arm, and leaned directly against his bulging breasts. "Humph, you naughty hooves!" After giving the two white lumps a fierce glance, Chiyu, who was following behind, snorted coldly in his heart. "Where is your junior brother? That Mengord is definitely practicing right now." He patted her soft pancreas and said, "Go and call him." "Yes, I'll go right away." The woman quickly disappeared around the corner. Entering the main room, the old man with a golden sword sat in the middle. He glanced at his eldest disciple, then flicked his fingers, and a cyan porcelain bottle flew into Chiyu's hand. I have 3 healing pills here. You are seriously injured. Go down and recuperate. Thank you, Master, for your consideration. I will remember this deeply and will do my best in the future. Chiyu's face was filled with gratitude. The old man was very satisfied with his statement and waved his hand. Disciple takes leave. He turned around and left the hall. After leaving the courtyard, his grateful expression disappeared instantly. He glanced coldly in the direction of the hall before turning around and leaving. Not long after, the woman walked in. Behind her, there was a young man wearing a black robe with a thin face and a cold expression. Master, junior brother, bring me here. Disciple Qin Shan, pay homage to my mentor. The young man in black said respectfully. After nodding slightly, how are you doing with the things I asked you to refine? The disciple's magic power is not good enough, so he can only practice a blood-transforming knife. As he spoke, a blood-red short sword with a length of 2 feet and a narrow blade appeared in his palm. 11 Mu's eyes lit up, he stretched out his hand, and the red dagger flew into his palm, his consciousness soaked into it, and a look of satisfaction appeared on his face after a moment. Very good. After playing with it for a while, he put it in his sleeve, looked at the boy in black, and with a flick of his finger, a medicine bottle flew in front of him. You did a good job this time. This bottle of Chunyua Dan will be given to you. When the master is successful the next day, if you capture and kill that evildoer, you will definitely be rewarded heavily. This disciple is willing to serve his mentor and will never refuse. Although the boy in black said so, he didn't think so in his heart. Come to think of it, you spent so much effort to refine a blood-transforming knife, only to get 9 Chunyua pills for the foundation building period. Swallowing this thing in one gulp would not increase his magic power at all, as he had already entered the middle stage of Xiantian. However, people had to bow their heads under the eaves. He knew very well how vicious and nasty his methods, as a well-known and upright master, were. Haha, good. Go down and have a good rest. Disciple resigns. After he left, the charming woman moved lightly and got into the old man's arms without any scruples. Master, you are so kind to your senior brother and junior brother. You have given pills and promised benefits. You must not forget about me, my disciple. 11 Mu reached out and rubbed the woman's arms without any scruples. Hey, don't worry. How could Master forget my dearest disciple? Look. Opening his left palm, a pale white stone exuding rich Zhengjin spiritual energy appeared in his palm. 1000 refined iron mother. The woman's eyes lit up instantly. If she could refine this iron mother into her Qingfeng sword, it would definitely reach a higher level and transform into a top-grade spiritual weapon. With a burning heart, he subconsciously went to grab it, but the old man took hold of it with his left hand and disappeared instantly. Master. The woman was anxious and turned her head in his arms like a beautiful snake. Haha, don't worry. This baby was originally prepared for you. Real. Haha, when did Master lie to my little baby? But first, go to the town and catch someone for me. Disciple, go right away. The woman was so anxious that she activated the escape light and flew out. Seeing her leaving, 11 Mu's eyes flashed, he made seals with both hands, and a knife disc flew out from his dantian. Putting the newly refined blood-transforming knives on, 9 similar blood-transforming knives instantly burst out with powerful light, but were quickly blocked by the old man's restriction. Let's see how you escape this time. As he spoke, the cold light in his eyes became more intense. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 816. Chapter 797, 100 Days of Foundation Building, Blood Sword Formation. Master, that old guy is not a good person at first glance, Sun Shi said angrily. Su Junming smiled faintly and did not respond, looking at the store owner who already had a look of fear on his face. Please prepare a room for us. Yes, Taoist master, please come this way. The shop owner, who had already climbed up from the ground, was trembling and personally led the three masters and apprentices up to the second floor. This is the best room in the hotel. For some reason, after getting close to the three masters and disciples, his fear disappeared inexplicably. Speech enunciation also became clearer. Su Junming took a quick look. In the middle is the living room, with moon-shaped hollow partitions on both sides. There are 2 large beds on each side. This kind of place can sleep 4 people. Very good, here it is. As long as you're satisfied. Su Junming turned his head and threw it away. The shop owner looked at the heavy 5 taels of snowflake silver in his hand, and his face was full of wrinkles with a smile, and his back molars were exposed. Ask you something. Master Dao, you said that the villain must know everything and say everything. Compared to just now, the current store owner is more than 10 times more attentive. Sure enough, money can make all the difference. Why is Baichi town so heavily guarded? Does Master Dao not know that all these actions are caused by evil spirits? Talk about it. It's only half a month ago that all 5 members of Wang San's family in Baichi town were killed overnight. The scene was so horrific that one could tell at a glance that it was not man-made, but a demonic disaster. Fortunately, Taoist Master 11 from Chunkai Temple came here with his disciples at this time, and took action to help us get rid of the evildoer. Unfortunately, the evildoer was really cunning. Taoist Master 11 led us several times, but failed to catch it. It caused harm to several families in the town. Alas! A long sigh expressed the helplessness of the weak. Have you seen what that monster looks like? It was too dark at night, so I couldn't see it clearly, but it looked like a tiger with wings. A tiger with wings. Is it Kyanki? Shaking his head, there are many strange beasts with wings and tigers in the world of cultivation. And if it was Kyanki, even if his bloodline was impure, it would not be possible for a nascent soul realm monk like 11 Mu to deal with him. Go ahead, there's no need to prepare food. He waved his hand. Yes, sir, please rest early. But if you have orders, just shout at the door. After the store owner went out. Call the 2 apprentices over. Tou Shidu, I'll leave this matter of Baichi town to you. Just cut off all the evildoers who have the spirit of injustice. Sun Shi's eyes lit up instantly. Although his training time was short, he had long been eager to be able to stand alone. Master, don't worry. This disciple will definitely wipe out all the evildoers in Baichi town. Go ahead, you can use the Aoki gourd if necessary. Yes. He jumped up, turned into green light, and left the room in an instant. Looking at his retreating back, Su Junming smiled faintly. This monkey has extraordinary qualifications and his cultivation level is improving very quickly. He must practice frequently and be taught a lot so that he will not let him live up to the peerless qualifications of the innate spirit of the Lingming stone monkey Tai Chi. Looking back, he saw the envy in Su Xian's eyes and reached out to pat his head. If you want to stand alone like your senior brother, you must practice well. Yes, disciple, I obey. I see that your foundation is firmly established. Let's break through here today. I will protect you. Su Xian nodded quickly, and under the guidance of his master, he sat down cross-legged on the bed. Soon I fell into forgetfulness of things and myself. Su Junming waved his sleeves, and a powerful spatial membrane separated the bedroom from the inn, giving Su Xian the safest cultivation environment. As time passed, Su Xian's aura suddenly surged. A wisp of light blue Chongshan magic power bloomed from his body. Seeing this, Su Junming smiled and nodded. Ancient books all talk about building a foundation in 100 days, but the aura of the middle thousand world and the small thousand world is not enough for people to lay the foundation of practice so quickly and advance to the innate level. Only in the great world can the 100-day foundation building that Su Junming once envied can be truly realized. Thinking about it, it took him 3 years to advance to the innate level. Even so, he was called a genius by his master. Thinking about it now, it was really like sitting in a well and looking at the sky. Holding the shining knife disc in his hand, 11 Mu stood up and walked to the backyard. The backyard, which covers half an acre, has been completely bulldozed and replaced with a platform paved with heavy rocks. Around the platform, 9 stone pillars 1 foot high and 3 feet thick protrude according to the directions of the 9 palaces and Bagua. Go to the top of the stone pillar in the center of the platform and sit cross-legged. As he muttered words, mana flowed into the knife blade. But I saw blood-red rays of light blooming. The light became more and more powerful, and soon expanded, gradually covering the entire platform. The blood-red brilliance lasted for more than 10 seconds before gradually disappearing. At the same time, the knife disc in 11 Liadao's hand also disappeared. However, you can see that there are many mysterious blood-red patterns on the rock platform and the 9 surrounding stone pillars. Seeing this, 11 Liadao had a hint of fanaticism in his eyes. The blood knife formation has finally been set up. He paid a huge price to redeem this formation from his section. This formation is not considered strong at the beginning, and the blood knife that holds the formation is easy to practice, but its greatest advantage is that it has unlimited growth. As long as there is enough blood essence and blood training, it is not surprising that the blood sword formation will become an immortal formation in the future. There are many creatures in Nanzan continent, and hundreds of countries are fighting to kill them. It is not difficult to collect blood essence. Therefore, there are many people practicing this formation in the spring and autumn temple. After setting up the formation, 11 Liadao arranged the altar, took out a bronze mirror from the magic bag and placed it on the table. It happened that at this moment, the charming woman who left earlier came back. "Master, fortunately you have fulfilled your destiny." With a wave of his hand, 2 unconscious rough men fell to the ground. The strong smell of alcohol could be smelled on their bodies. After looking at it for a while, he nodded. "Go and call your 2 junior brothers." The woman took the order and left, and soon Chi Yu and the young man in black arrived in front of her. 11 Liadao waved his hand casually, and the 3-sided token fell into the hands of 3 people. "The 3 of you will protect me." "Yes." The 3 of them stood on either side of the altar holding tokens. After the instructions were given, 11 Liadao muttered words and pointed with his hand. Gon Palace's red light flashed. After touching the 2 strong men, they slowly melted like wax and melted into the Gon Palace stone pillars. Bones are used to make pillars, and blood essence is used to refine swords. Seeing this scene, the young man in black couldn't help but frown, a trace of disgust flashing in his eyes. The blood-transforming sword on Gon Palace was made by him through sacrifice. Feeling the changes in Gon Gong's blood blade, 11 Liadao nodded with satisfaction. This step of his is called spiritual enlightenment. Each blood-transforming knife must be opened with the essence and blood of the most intelligent person among all spirits, so that it can be trained step by step to the strongest. It's a pity that Taoist Su suddenly came here and disrupted my plan. Otherwise, after training tens of thousands of people in this 100-foot town, my blood sword formation will definitely reach a higher level. Thinking of this, I felt an inexplicable hatred for Taoist Su. Taking a deep breath to calm his mind, he knew that now was not the time to think about this. Pick up a red gourd from the table, remove the seal and uncork it. After pinching a few seals, he drank. Disease. In an instant, the bloody smell became countless times stronger. The gurgling essence and blood is like a small stream, rolling towards Gon Palace. The thick stone pillars are like sponges, swallowing up all the essence and blood without rejecting anyone who comes. With a buzz sound, the stone pillars trembled, and the rich blood light bloomed like a 100-watt light bulb. 11 Liadao's expression was solemn, and he swiped his right index finger on his left wrist, and then he drew a blood arrow into Gan Palace. In an instant, the bloody light was restrained, and a bloody long sword that was more than 3 feet long and exuded a sharp aura appeared in front of everyone. 11 Liadao looked excited, and after hurriedly pinching a few seals, the bloody knife disappeared and turned into a stone pillar again. With a touch of his right hand, the injury on his left hand disappeared. It's finally done. Although it has consumed all the blood and essence that he has worked hard to accumulate for many years, the blood sword array can be fully formed, which is considered to be well worth the money. Satisfied, he took 2 steps back and sat down on the futon next to him, then took out 3 pills and swallowed them in one go. After adjusting his breath and meditating for a while to recover the energy in his body, 11 Liadao suddenly opened his eyes, and 2 bright rays of light pierced the dark night. What time is it? It's just past midnight. Chi Yu said quickly. It's time to take action. Kinshin. Chi Yu and the young man in black emerged from the crowd. Please give me your instructions. You two immediately rush to the Li family inn in Baichi town and closely monitor the 3 masters and apprentices. If there is any abnormality, report it to me immediately. Disciple, obey. After the 2 stood up and left, Taoist 11 took out an ancient copper bell the size of a teacup from the bag of magic. This copper bell is a spiritual treasure he got unexpectedly, and it's called the Su Shen bell. Holding the bell in his left hand, he opened a jade box placed on the altar with his right hand. A handful of brown hair slowly floated up, circled around the Su Shen bell, and then slowly disappeared. It's done. 11 Liadao was shocked. After taking a slight breath, he quickly activated his magic power. Jingle bell. The crisp ringtone, like waves, quickly spread around, and in just a moment, it enveloped the surrounding area for thousands of miles. Su Junming inside the inn opened his eyes, took a look, and smiled faintly. This ringtone is quite interesting. He activated the bronze mirror and took a look, then entered the state of enlightenment again. If you want to understand the way of time to the extent that it is useful to you, it will not happen overnight. In the deep mountain canyon nearly 1,000 miles southeast of Baichi town, a huge creature suddenly opened its eyes. The giant eyes the size of millstones are filled with ferocious amber brilliance. The wings gathered behind his back spread out, and in an instant, a roaring wind blew up a level 12 storm in the peaceful valley. Trees were broken and rocks were overturned. The sound was shocking. Then the thick limbs propped up the body, and with a crash, the mountains of white bones accumulated next to him slid down. You can see that this is a tiger that is 10 feet tall, with wings on its back and a mouth full of fangs. Raise your ferocious head. Become a disciple of Taoist priest Four Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 817. Ouch! The roar that penetrated the clouds and cracked the rocks resounded throughout the mountains. The wings shook, the Sunda wind tore the sky and the earth apart, and the huge body soared into the sky. But in a moment, a town shrouded in darkness appeared in sight. The giant tiger swooped down and rushed towards the sound of the bell. 11 Liadao instantly sensed the incoming enemy, his left hand kept ringing, his right hand tightened the seal, and his old eyes stared at the night sky in the distance. Suddenly, the strong wind roared. A huge bolt of yellow lightning rushed from the sky. The ferocious aura instantly caused the charming woman next to her to turn pale with fear. Old Taoist 11 had a solemn face and shouted angrily. Amnesty! The blood surged. Half an acre of land turned into a sea of blood. Layers of blood waves formed a bagua formation that stretched over 100 acres of land. The sudden change made the giant tiger wary, but before it could stop, 11 Liadao suddenly shook his left hand searching bell. The giant tiger's eyes were filled with confusion. Although he woke up quickly, his body had been damaged. Shrouded in soaring blood. Instinctively sensing that something was wrong, along with the roar of the tiger that penetrated the clouds and cracked the rocks, countless golden swords rained down, flying in all directions. The endless rain of golden swords, like wild waves and huge waves, caused the blood waves to churn, as if they were about to rush out at any time. Sitting high on the Dharma platform, 11 Leodao made magic seals with his hands, and the magic power gurgling out of his body suppressed the giant tiger's resistance. A pair of old eyes looked at the winged tiger, filled with unconcealable fanaticism. The most unacceptable thing for those who practice Taoism is to have no way forward. 11 Leodao practiced for 700 years and finally reached the late nascent soul stage. He knew very well that with his qualifications, it would not be a problem to break through to the perfection of nascent soul, but it was basically hopeless to break through to nascent soul. Therefore, for the past 100 years, he has been looking for ways to break through the situation. Not to mention, he has a good chance. When he got the Su Shen bell again, he also got a strange Taoist method called the Secret Record of Heavenly Demons. The purpose of this Taoist method is to use the human soul to devour the demon soul and practice it in the body of the demon beast. It is conceivable that the stronger the aptitude of the demon, the more suitable it is to practice the secret book of heavenly demons. Unfortunately, demons with strong bloodlines are often extremely powerful. With his cultivation in the late nascent soul stage, there was absolutely no possibility of succeeding. Unwilling to remain ordinary, 11 Leodao tried his best and finally found a cauldron that he was satisfied with. That is to say, this one has mixed blood and has reached the peak of nascent soul realm. He is obviously still a Kyanki in his infancy. Kyanki is worthy of the name of the four ancient evils. Even Kyanki, whose bloodline has been passed down for countless generations, still beat 11 Leodao, who rushed forward excitedly. If he hadn't practiced for many years, he would have a lot of tricks behind him. I'm afraid it has long been swallowed up by Kyanki and turned into a daddy. It's a painful lesson. In order to pursue his own path, he sold a lot of his belongings in exchange for the blood knife formation. For this reason, tens of thousands of sacrifice and training formations were also slaughtered. Now it's finally time to harvest. 9 Palace Blood Knife. Disease. The bloodlight of the 9 stone pillars condensed instantly, and the next moment, 9 huge blood knives with a length of more than 3 feet were slashed in the air with a domineering aura. The sharp sword energy is extremely condensed. And it has the corrosiveness of molten iron. This bastard was so curious that he instantly sensed the danger in the bloody knife. With a roar, the light yellow wings spread out from behind, and the energy of Zhengjin condensed. In an instant, the 2 giant wings, which were 15 feet long and nearly 5 feet wide, turned into 2 silver-white giant knives. 11 Leodao looked solemn. If he hadn't seen something bad and ran away in advance, he would have died under this strange innate magical power. With a move of both hands, the 9 bloody knives took the initiative to meet him. The bloody sword energy is strange and domineering. At the same time, 2 giant white knives cut down instantly as if the mountain was overwhelming them. The sharp Zhengjin sword energy cut through the air instantly like lightning. Clang! Accompanied by the fierce clash of gold and iron, the red and white sword energy shattered, and the entire blood sword array trembled violently. 11 Leodao was very confident in his carefully arranged formation, and Kyanki now had no chance of breaking it. Next moment, the strong wind howls. 11 Leodao looked up and saw a huge blue pillar several feet thick falling down with a bang. The majestic momentum contains unimaginable violence. Boom! Deafening. The blasted air exploded with astonishing impact, sweeping thousands of feet around. In an instant, the house collapsed, the walls collapsed, the trees were broken, and everything within a radius of several hundred feet was in chaos. Kaka. Along with the cracking sound, the 9 stone pillars were broken inch by inch, and the bloody light gradually shattered, revealing the ferocious-looking mixed blood Kyanki inside. He, it seems that Grandpa Sun is not too late. Looking at the 5-foot figure standing in the air not far away, wearing phoenix wings and golden armor, holding a green god's wishful stick, and full of high-spirited energy. 11 Liadao was so angry that his back teeth were broken. The blood sword formation was broken, and his path was cut off. How could he not hate it? Smelly monkey, come and die. With a loud shout, a green sword energy of more than 10 feet struck towards Sun Shi overwhelmingly. Sun Shi's eyes sparkled, and his fighting spirit soared to the sky. He had already taken a rough look at it just now. This old Taoist has an air of injustice rising to the sky. He is obviously not a good person. That Kyanki was covered in blood and was obviously an evil beast. In this case, he had no worries. The Qingshen Ruyi stick in the palm blooms with majestic green flowers, and the forceful force of the stick is like an overturned mountain, extremely compelling. At the same time, a bright golden light bloomed from Sun Shi's body. The bright golden light made him look like a god in the sky. Boom! There was a huge earthquake in the sky, and the infinite power contained in the green god stick exploded, instantly exploding the sword energy. Feeling the continuous huge power coming from the Qingfeng sword, 11 Liadao was secretly shocked. The power of the stick was more than 10 times stronger than before at the inn. How can it be? Before he could think clearly, an extremely powerful Zheng Jinqi was already killing him like wind and lightning. It was too late to dodge, and with a thought in his heart, a square net bag appeared beside him in an instant. The sword energy slashed at the net bag, which was in accordance with the principle of softness overcoming strength. Although the net bag was pressed and kept concave, it could not be cut through. But this blow made 11 Liadao's heart sink to the bottom. He was not lucky enough to be attacked by 2 great demons who were in the late nascent soul realm or even the perfect demon. Before he could even finish his thoughts, the next scene made him extremely happy. The Zhexue Kyanki's wings lit up with sword energy, and he was about to chop them off. A huge cyan stick that was 3 feet thick and more than 10 feet long struck with a force that could break mountains. Boom! Huge force exploded. Kyanki's 10-foot-long body was blown away like a ball. The gorgeous courtyard was crushed to pieces in an instant like a broken cardboard box. Getting up, Zhexue Kyanki shook his head, his vicious vertical pupils staring straight ahead, and his huge mouth opened. The roar of the tiger that penetrated the clouds and cracked the rocks shook the sky. Sun Shi, full of high spirits, carried the Qingshen Ruyi stick and buttoned his ears. He put it to his mouth and blew on it, raising his chin slightly, his face full of defiance. Your big guy's roar is pretty good. It knocked the wax out of my ears. Thanks. The contemptuous tone made Zhexue Kyanki instantly furious. He spread his hooves and the hard stone was instantly crushed by the huge force. The huge body glowed with silvery white light, and rushed forward instantly with a compelling momentum. The ground trembled with alarming force. Seeing this, Sun Shi not only did not avoid the edge temporarily, but was full of fighting spirit and took the initiative to meet him. Hey, good time. The Qingshen stick moved horizontally, and his body shape was like lightning. One big one and one small one collided with each other instantly. Boom! Like beating a drum. The two sides separated instantly, but quickly rushed forward again. The big stick flew like a dragon making waves in the sea. The roar was like thunder, as if the earth was opened and the sky was opened. The golden light is like lightning, and the vast green flowers are like jade mountains. Seeing this brutal fight, 11 Liadao rolled his eyes, turned around and ran away. As a result, he had just stood up and had not yet flown 10 feet away. Suddenly I felt the howling wind above my head. Subconsciously, he took out his protective mesh bag. Boom! A thick green wooden stick was struck down with a crash. The violent force, like a roiling river, spread down the net bag. 11 Liadao was shaken all over, and he couldn't help but spurt out a mouthful of blood. His body was like a meteor, and he was knocked down directly. Sun Shi was in mid-air, holding a stick flower, and the green god stick was placed on his shoulders. The red cloak spread out behind him, and there was no wind. Coupled with the phoenix wings on his body clad in golden armor, and the golden light blooming all over his body after activating his innate magical powers, Sun Shi looked like an immortal or a saint at this moment. I, the Chongshan sect, want to uphold the principle of eliminate all evil. You have committed serious sins. If you are caught by me, unless you beat me, you will tie your hands and follow me back to see the master. Although they wanted to kill each other before, at this moment Zhangzhuqianqi and 11 Liadao attacked Sun Shi in unison. The sword energy tore through the sky. The sharp sword energy blooms sharply. The combination of swords not only did not frighten Sun Shi, but also inspired his fighting spirit. Haha, this is fun enough. As the stick went up, the sound of gold and iron echoed throughout the sky. The roar, the sound of muscles clashing, was deafening. The house covering an area of dozens of acres has completely turned into a battlefield. The once gorgeous building is now like a rag, being crushed to pieces by the fierce fighting. The entire Baichi town was shocked by this huge movement. Every household ran out of their homes and watched the fierce battle from a distance, all dumbfounded. Many people have never seen such a scene in their lives. Qingshen Ruyi stick. Accompanied by an explosive roar, a giant stick more than 10 feet long swept across with lightning. With a boom sound, the 10-foot-long black shadow was heavily knocked away, hundreds of feet across the air, and flew straight towards the street. Seeing this scene, the people of Baichi town who were trembling and watching the battle were instantly frightened out of their wits. If such a huge monster fell down, they would be smashed into pieces. Just as they closed their eyes and waited to die, there was no movement for a while. Slowly opening his eyes, he discovered that a tall Taoist priest in a green robe stretched out a single palm to support the flying huge tiger. Next to him, there was a Taoist boy of 7 or 8 years old. These two people were Su Junming and Su Xian, who had advanced to the innate level. Looking at the fighting in the distance, Su Xian was full of admiration. "Master, senior brother is so amazing." Su Junming smiled and nodded, thinking to himself, although this monkey's luck has been changed by me, its aggressive and war-loving temperament has not changed at all. After another huge earthquake, the fierce battle finally came to an end. Soon, Sun Shi dragged 11 Liadao over like a dog to death. With a wave of his hand, the charming woman, who was photographed by 11 Liadao to monitor Chi Yu and the young man in black, fell to 11 Liadao's side in embarrassment. "Master, my disciple is lucky to have lived up to his command. All those who possess the spirit of injustice have been caught in one fell swoop and are now at the mercy of Master." Sun Shi knelt down on one knee, full of high spirits. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 818. Looking at his proud disciple, Su Junming nodded with satisfaction. Although it's a bit reckless, it's well done. Sun Shi looked happy. "Master, how can these guys be punished? Except for this boy in black, let's kill everyone else." 11 Liadao and others, as well as the bastard Qianqi, were full of resentment. It was obvious that they had committed countless crimes, and killing them was considered a minor offense. "Spare your life, I am a disciple of Chunqiu Temple, you can't kill me." Before 11 Liadao finished speaking, he was hit with a big stick. Bang! His head exploded with such powerful force that even the soul in his dantian was instantly killed. Su Junming opened his palm, and the huge Zhangzhuqianqi quickly dented and gradually turned into a red pill the size of a fingertip. "Take it. With the help of this essence and blood pill, your martial arts will soon advance to the realm of marrow cleansing." "Thank you, Master." Sun Shi took it over happily. You deserve this, no need to thank me. With a casual move, several people's magic bags and the previously scattered spiritual treasure magic weapons flew into their hands. In his eyes, these things are all rubbish, the training techniques are crude, and their power is average. But this copper bell is quite exquisite. This was the first time he saw a top-quality spiritual treasure that contained the law of cause and effect. Although it is only used for tracking, and the sacrificial training method is ordinary, it is worth his understanding. After briefly looking at the rest, he gave it to Sun Shi. He turned to look at the young man in black who was captured by Sun Shi. With a flick of his fingers, he unlocked his seal. May I have your name? Reply to the Taoist priest, my name is Qin Shan. Are you a disciple of this Taoist? Qin Shan glanced at 11 Mu, who was beaten to death with a stick, and nodded after hesitating for a moment. I see that your Taoism is not from the Chun Chiu Guan section. How could you be his disciple? Reply to the Taoist priest, I was originally a casual cultivator who made a living by refining magic weapons in Dangyang Shanfang City. I was forcibly accepted by 11 Mu as his disciple a year ago. No wonder. There is no resentment in this person, which is completely different from master and disciple 11 Mu. I remember that you have never done any evil, so go away. Thank you, Taoist priest, for not killing me. Qin Shan did not leave, but fell to his knees with a pop. Taoist master, my disciple is devoted to the Tao. I hope that the Taoist master can take me under his disciples and teach me the Taoism. The disciple must devote himself to practice, eliminate demons and defend the Tao, and do not fall into the deep grace of the Taoist master. It's rare for you to be able to emerge from the mud without being stained. I will give you a chance. Whether you can become my disciple in the end depends on your chance. With a wave of his right hand, Qin Shan's figure disappeared instantly. In the world of the Divine Mountain outside the world, Chongshan Academy has a complete training system. If Qinshan is really a spiritual seed, it will not be difficult to become a disciple of Chongshan. Looking at the debris all over the ground. After Su Junming thought briefly, he made seals with both hands. Driven by mana, a powerful force of time spread out. But seeing the houses and streets that had been destroyed by the war, they were restored instantly. Within a moment, everything returned to its original state. This magical scene not only stunned the ordinary people around them, but also Sun Shi and Su Xian. Feeling the consumption of mana in his body, Su Junming nodded slightly. After advancing the realm of time talismans to the true immortal Queen Yuan Yang, the mana consumed by him using time retrieval was reduced by more than 10 times than before. Let's go. When everyone was stunned, Su Junming supported the two apprentices with his magic power, and their figures disappeared instantly. Taoist priest. Several wealthy Zhenyuan couldn't catch up with him and couldn't help but regret it. People with great supernatural powers like this are difficult to see easily. If they can leave some trace of incense and affection, maybe they can become a practice home in the future. Dangyang Mountain is the largest mountain range in Qizhou, the most populous and prosperous state among the 12 states of Qi. At the same time, it is also the Taoist temple of the Spring and Autumn Temple, the first sect in Qi. Tens of thousands of years ago, after the founder of Chun Kaiguan supported the founder of Qi state to establish the foundation of Qi state, the two sides became mutually exclusive. The Spring and Autumn views also became the state religion of Qi. With the support of the state of Qi, masters of Chun Kaiguan emerged in large numbers, and there were immortals from generation to generation, with a solid foundation. But now, the Spring and Autumn view, where the fire is cooking and the flowers are blooming, has encountered difficulties. The core meeting place of the sect is in the Spring and Autumn Hall. From the leader Yijin Taoist to all the immortal elders, everyone looked solemn. The atmosphere in the main hall was even more depressing to the extreme. Ahem. A suppressed cough broke the silence and attracted everyone's attention. Great Elder, Are you okay? Taoist Yijin said worriedly. Ding Chang, the great elder of Chunkaiu Temple with white beard and hair, Taoist Yuan Qing took a slight breath and waved his hand. It won't be a serious problem for a while. Taoist Yijin breathed a sigh of relief. There was only one Yuan Yang golden immortal in the entire spring and autumn temple, Taoist Yuan Qing. If he was seriously injured and died, then the 10,000-year foundation of Chunkaiu Temple would really be in vain. Of course, there is also the risk of collapse now. Everyone knows what happened. The Tai celestial immortal who calls himself Tai True Lord has taken the imperial court hostage and given the entire Jingzhou to Chongshan Academy as a dojo. I think everyone knows very well that with the Tai realm powerhouse as its backer, Chongshan Academy will never stop at a small Jingzhou. In time, the entire Qi kingdom will be swallowed up by it. And our spring and autumn temple, as the first sect in Qi state, must be an obstacle that the other party must clear. So, our spring and autumn temple has reached a critical moment of life and death. You are the immortals that our spring and autumn temple has accumulated over tens of thousands of years. You should brainstorm and make suggestions to help our spring and autumn temple overcome the current difficulties. Taoist Yijin's heavy words echoed in the hall. Everyone looked at each other in confusion. Anyone who can become an immortal is not a fool. Of course, they understand how dangerous the current situation of spring and autumn temple is. I understand even more clearly that the existence of a Tai realm cannot be resisted by the spring and autumn concept. Master, what kind of sect is Chongshan Academy? Why did it suddenly appear in Qi state? Taoist Yijin shook his head. The Earth immortal world is vast, and I don't know where this Chongshan Academy comes from, but if it has the support of a Tai realm existence, it must have come here. As for why it appeared in Qi state, we still need to investigate before we know. Master, maybe the situation is not as dangerous as we thought. As a great master of the Tai realm, the Tai True Lord has enough strength to sweep across the Qi kingdom. But he only injured the great elder, and only took away after leaving Jingzhou. Perhaps their ambitions are not in Qi. Taoist Yijin frowned. Continue. Although Jingzhou is the largest state among the 12 states of Qi state, in terms of wealth and population, it is not even half as good as other states and counties. But Chongshan Academy chose to ignore the 11 states of Qi state and only focus on Jingzhou. I'm afraid it's not Qi that we're after, but Jingshan, which stretches 300 million miles across. Jingshan. Everyone was shocked and exclaimed. Noticing the disbelieving looks in everyone's eyes, the purple-robed man who spoke felt extremely proud. He felt more and more that his inference was correct, and his tone became more certain. That's right, it's Jingshan. Only Jingshan, which stretches for 300 million miles, has countless resources, and is rich in spiritual energy. Is it worthy of a powerful master from the Tai realm? The great elder who had been silent at this moment also opened his eyes, looked at the purple-robed man with admiration, and nodded. That's a good statement. The other party's target should be Jingshan, otherwise I would never come back alive. This sentence seemed to be the final word, and the atmosphere in the hall instantly relaxed. The Jingshan Great Demon is also a Tai realm existence, and the tens of millions of demons among it are a powerful force. Although Tai Zhenjun is also a Tai celestial immortal, can he defeat Jingshan? It's better not to beat me, so as not to let this Chongshan Academy poop and pee on my spring and autumn view in the future. When everyone heard this, they nodded. In a place where they could not see, Tai Zhenjun, wearing a sultry red Taoist robe, was lying on the white clouds, activating the phantom of the bronze mirror, watching everything happening in the spring and autumn hall below. Gudu took a sip of wine. These guys are really stupid. They actually figured out on their own that the target of Chongshan Academy is Jingshan? Could it be that my actions, Fifth Master, are so unclear? He shook his head, and after seeing that there was no more valuable news, he activated the escape light and left far away. Become a disciple of Taoist priest for us. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 819. Chapter 800. Sun Shi kills the demon in Changshan County. Boom. When the thunder that resounded across the sky finally came to an end, a 3-foot thick aura of creation poured down, and the aura on Sun Shi's body increased visibly to the naked eye. Within a moment, a golden light passed through the sky and flew over like lightning. Master, I have made a breakthrough. Seeing Sun Shi dancing and dancing with excitement on his monkey face, Su Junming nodded with satisfaction. Although the physical body is only a Taishi level innate spirit, which has dropped 2 levels from before, Sun Shi's soul is still the same, and combined with the bronze mirror, his understanding of Taoism is almost as good as his current one. In just a few months, he has understood the way of King Mu to the nascent soul realm. If martial arts training had not consumed too much resources, and Su Junming did not want it to progress too fast and damage the foundation, let alone a newbie. Ying, I'm afraid the Yuan Shen realm can even take a peek. Well done. This Su Shen bell has been retrained by me and is now a low-grade immortal weapon. I'll leave it to you for your use. Opening his left palm, a brass bell the size of an adult's fist, with a light yellow aura, slowly flew to Sun Shi. Hey, thank you master. Although this soul-searching bell is far inferior to his Qingshen Ruyi stick, phoenix wings wearing golden armor and King Mu gourd, it is still an immortal weapon and can be used by me for 3 to 5 years. Su Xian on the side looked at his senior brother with envy. Looking at the other party's soaring cultivation, he finally understood why he was a registered disciple and the other party was a direct disciple. Junior brother. Su Xian was enlightened and quickly handed over his hand. What are your orders, senior brother? A 3-foot-long sword appeared in Sun Shi's palm. This Jingfeng sword is from the old thief. Senior brother, I don't like using swords. It would be a waste to keep it in my hand, so I'll give it to you. This. Although I really want it, it is my senior brother's thing after all. He looked at the master subconsciously. Take it, this sword is of little use to your senior brother. After receiving the affirmation, Su Xian took it with both hands. Thank you, senior brother, for the treasure. Hey, there's no need to be so polite between you and me, senior fellow apprentices. Seeing everything in his eyes, Su Junming couldn't help but nodded secretly. Although Sun Shi has an unrestrained temperament and does not stick to trivial matters. But he is not the kind of careless, reckless, and rude person. On the contrary, he is smart and observant of details. After all my efforts were not in vain to help him change his destiny and become his disciple. It can be said that in terms of qualifications alone, Sun Shi is definitely the most promising among all his disciples to achieve the great Luo realm. With a wave of his left hand, a stream of light flew into Sun Shi's palm. This bottle of 7 yellow pills is handed over to you, so you can practice well. Sun Shi, who knew this was a good thing, laughed playfully. Thank you, master. He nodded slightly and looked at the sky. Now that you have broken through, let's go. The boundary of Jingzhou is not far away. The 2 apprentices nodded and followed their master to leave the ruined temple in the mountains. As a result, Su Junming stopped just after leaving for more than 10 miles. Master, what's wrong? Sun Shi asked. Look. Looking in the direction of the finger, the sky is clear and blue, dotted with white clouds, and nothing out of the ordinary can be seen. However, he knew that the master would never activate the bronze mirror phantom in his dantian without targeting the target. In an instant, a land thousands of miles away is right in front of you. At the same time, a group of monks wearing purple robes appeared in sight. Seeing their clothes and their unique temperament, Sun Shi understood. Master, seems to be the stinky Taoist priest from Chunqiu Temple. Looking at his eagerness to try, it was obvious that his hands were itchy after breaking through the nascent soul. Don't be impatient. You have just made a breakthrough. What you need is to stabilize your cultivation, familiarize yourself with the new energy, blood, and magic power, and lay a solid foundation. As for fighting skills, there will be many opportunities in the future. After hearing what he said, Sun Shi took a breath and calmed down. Master, how did these smelly Taoist priests find us? Spring and Autumn Temple is the first sect in Qi state and has been passed down for tens of thousands of years. Naturally, it has a way to protect its disciples. After saying that, he shook his head slightly in his heart. After killing Jiao Liadao, he left traces to lure the people from Chunqiu Temple to catch up. The purpose is to give Sun Shi a sharpening stone in his martial arts. It's just that the timing is unlucky, as I just caught up with my little disciple, the nascent soul-breaking realm. He wasted a lot of effort. With a wave of his big sleeve, tens of thousands of miles away, a big black hole suddenly appeared in mid-air, from which invisible but qualitative forceful swallowing power emanated. Several Yuan Shen monks were unable to resist and were sucked in. Let's go. The two apprentices looked at their master with admiration and continued walking forward. After a month of trekking, the three masters and apprentices finally arrived in Jingzhou. Master, the people here are too poor. Along the way, the official road was dilapidated, and the fields on both sides were covered with luxuriant grass. We only saw some farmland near the city. Such a scene was completely opposite to what they saw in other states and counties, where there were fertile fields. What's more, the farmers working in the fields are no longer ragged, but completely naked. All over the body, there is only a grass skirt woven from rattan and hay, covering key parts. Let's go and have a look at the county seat ahead. The three masters and apprentices followed the dilapidated official road to the city gate. There were several government servants in soap robes standing on both sides, collecting city entry taxes from passers-by. Su Junming was a monk, but he didn't give an ultimatum. He also wanted to do something troublesome, so he used a blind trick and walked in. In other states and counties, a county city is nearly 100 miles long and wide, with a population of millions. But here, the city is only 30 miles long, and all the businesses within the city are in ruins visible to the naked eye. Most of the people who come and go are in shabby clothes and look disheveled. There are countless beggars lying on both sides of the road. There are thousands of people kneeling on the roadside with thorns stuck in their heads, selling their sons and daughters. Master, what kind of disaster has this county encountered? Why is it so dilapidated? Sun Shi said. Along the way, they had seen poor people and people selling their children and daughters, but those places were almost hundreds of times better than this one. Maybe we'll know soon, Su Junming pointed out. Not long after, a dark cloud suddenly flew from the distant sky. It's a bit slow when you first look at it, but it gets faster as you go to the back. As fast as a galloping horse, he quickly arrived. The dark clouds dispersed and instantly filled thousands of acres around them. Thick clouds covered the sky, and the surrounding area instantly dimmed. The roaring wind can almost blow people away. Run quickly, King Chiliang is here to eat people again. After the shrill shouting, the street seemed to explode. Everyone is panicked and scared. She cried for her father and mother, and deeply regretted that she didn't have two more legs. Even the beggars hiding in corners looked horrified. The surrounding shops are all closed. However, for a moment, there was no trace of human beings on the street that was still somewhat bustling except for broken tables, broken benches, human and animal excrement and other debris. The entire county felt like death. A vivid scene appeared in front of the three masters and disciples. The reason for the poor livelihood of the people here is self-evident. Master, let me kill the evil monster, Sun Shi said angrily. Since its birth, it has been taken with Su Junming. Naturally, it has been deeply influenced by his philosophy of killing demons and protecting the common people. It is most disgusted with the evil deeds of monsters and cannibals. Su Junming nodded. It was just a wolf demon with a perfect nascent soul. With Sun Shi's cultivation level, it was not difficult to kill it. After receiving permission, Sun Shi twitched his ear, held the Qingshen Ruyi stick in his hand, and leapt up into the air like lightning. Death to the evildoer! With a violent roar, tyrannical energy and blood rose into the sky. The Qingshen Ruyi stick in his hand instantly turned into a giant 100 feet in size. Aoki's divine light soared into the sky, and its tyrannical stick force was more powerful than the mountains. Stop, I am the wolf general under Taicheng Mountain. Before he finished speaking with a bit of panic, the giant stick holding the sky had already been struck down. Boom! The demonic clouds in the sky were blown up with a stick. The billowing clouds surged in all directions like sharp arrows. A giant wolf with a body length of 15 feet and red hair was revealed. At this moment, there was a red giant sword above its head, blocking the green giant stick coming at it. Obviously, it's not easy either. The red giant sword flashed with light and was teetering on the edge of collapse. The corners of Red Wolf's mouth were stained with blood, and he looked horrified. Seeing that the thin monkey was about to hit him with a stick, the Red Wolf turned around and ran away. The huge force contained in the stick just now almost killed it, and the opponent seemed to be a tough opponent who didn't care about Taicheng Mountain at all. If he didn't run away now, he would wait until later. I'm really unlucky. When I went out to find someone to beat my teeth, I met such a lunatic. Monster, don't run away. A loud shout made Red Wolf tremble in his heart, spread his hooves, and ran faster. As a result, before it could run very far, it suddenly felt the strong wind roaring in front of it, making it almost difficult to open its eyes. When he looked up, he saw the golden-haired monkey standing in front of him at some point. The green stick hit it directly on the head at a faster speed than before. Feeling the huge power contained in the majestic stick force, Qi Lang was horrified. He gritted his teeth and suddenly used his demon elixir. But he saw a red rainbow light rising into the sky. Along with the deafening roar, shrill screams rang out. Blood rained all over the sky, and a giant red wolf 15 feet long fell from the air. Boom! Half of the city wall was crushed by its tyrannical body. Sun Shi, who was wearing phoenix wings and golden armor, and was covered in golden light, was full of energy and blood, domineering and ferocious. Holding the red wolf with only half life left, he came to Su Junming to revive him. Master, I want to capture this evil monster. Please punish me. Su Junming smiled and nodded. After Sun Shixia broke through nascent soul, his strength was already invincible at the same level. If the innate magical power is activated, even the Yuanshen monks can fight and even win. It was completely easy to deal with a wolf monster in the nascent soul realm. At this moment, dozens of escaping lights flew from the city. The leader was an old man wearing a 7th grade official robe, and he actually had the cultivation level of the Yuanshen realm. Behind him, there were several middle-aged people in the nascent soul realm. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 820. Chapter 801 Su Junming only subordinates Jing Zhou. Stop it quickly, this monster cannot be killed. A middle-aged man wearing a green robe with 3 strands of long beard on his chin and looking somewhat elegant said loudly. Renbonian, save me quickly. Otherwise, if I die, the city lord will never let you go to Changshan County, the wolf demon threatened in a stern tone. The expression of the leader of the old man changed, and after scanning Sun Shi, his eyes fixed on Su Junming. Based on his experience, he can naturally tell who is the leader here. Ren Boyan, the magistrate of Changshan County, may I ask who your surname is? Where do you come from? You want to plead for this man-eating monster, Su Junming said calmly. Ren Bonian's expression changed. He was not a fool. Of course he could hear the contempt in the words of this man in green robe who could not see his cultivation but was definitely extraordinary. If not, when Taichung Mountain's 100,000 demon army comes, the hundreds of millions of people in our Changshan County will be eaten up by him. Haha, human monk. I, King Taichangshan King Ti, am a demon immortal. If you dare to kill me, the entire human race in Changshan County will be buried with me, Qi Lang said crazily. He glanced at it lightly and said, don't worry, I will let the monsters from Taichung Mountain bury you with you. The left palm is raised, and a Tai Chi yin and yang fish pattern rotates rapidly. The red wolf didn't even have time to scream, before it was swallowed up and turned into a blood essence pill the size of a metamorphosis. He handed it to Sun Shi and turned to look at Ranbonian and others. Since you cannot shoulder the responsibility of protecting the country and the people, then you should abdicate and make way for others. Who do you think you are? Why should we listen to you? Behind the crowd, a young man in the early stage of Jindan said angrily. Su Junming smiled lightly. Because I am stronger than you, and I happen to be a bit jealous of evil. Too lazy to listen to their nonsense anymore, he waved his right hand and used the powerful sealing power to seal everyone instantly. As soon as his heart moved, a small mountain peak shrouded in white clouds flew out from his dantian. It is the Tianhui sacred mountain that has reached the pinnacle of the small thousand worlds. After pinching a few seals, 3 streams of light flew out. Leaning, Zhou Lang, Yangda, please meet your mentor. Feeling the powerful magic power of the 3 people, they couldn't help but smile. Yes, they are all Yuan Yang golden immortals. It's all due to the cultivation of my mentor. Some time ago, Huang Zhongli took root and sprouted, and the spiritual energy of Tianhui Shenshan surged. The 3 of them also received great fortunes, and their cultivation levels improved by leaps and bounds, surpassing the Yuan Yang golden immortal. Su Junming nodded and flicked his fingers. 3 points of golden light flew into the eyebrows of the 3 people. In an instant, countless words and images appeared in the sea of consciousness of the 3 people. It is the topographic map and city distribution of the 12 states of Qi, especially Jingzhou. The 3 of you will recruit a powerful upper court from Tianhui Mountain to occupy Jingzhou's 13 counties, 109 prefectures, and 1,752 counties. Although Changshan Academy is called an academy, it is no longer just a place for teaching and educating people. It is a comprehensive institution covering politics, economy, culture, military, and education. Unlike ordinary countries, it is a powerful force with education as its core. Moreover, one upper house covers tens of billions of people. These tens of billions all have cultivation in them, the difference is just high or low. Therefore, despite the fact that Jingzhou has a population of 50 billion, it still faces threats from many demon clans in Jingshan. Not counting the top monks, the upper chamber of Changshan Academy can definitely defeat the practitioners in Jingzhou and the monsters in Jingshan. Disciple, obey. Su Junming slapped the gourd on his waist, and a bit of green light flew out, and then fell outside the city after passing through a blue light. A hexagonal 3-story stone platform with a diameter of nearly 1,000 feet appeared in front of everyone's eyes. The stone platform took root on the ground, and as the inscription flickered, spiritual light bloomed, and a tough invisible membrane protected the stone platform in the middle. Li Ning and the 3 of them are very familiar with this stone platform. It is the teleportation array used by Changshan Academy to communicate with each other. The 4-level structure of Changshan Academy, the lower court, the middle court, the upper court, and the general court, are all built around the teleportation array. Moreover, only the main hospital has a cross-border teleportation array. The 3 of you will use the teleportation array to mobilize manpower and materials. If there are any dissenters in Jingzhou, they will be captured first. After Jingzhou is completely occupied, good and evil will be distinguished and dealt with according to the regulations of Changshan Academy. Taking Changshan County as a reference, we can see how far the human race in Jingzhou has reached. The poor sell their sons and daughters, and the rich use their lives to serve monsters. Moreover, Changshan County is still a county outside Jingshan. Counties near Jingshan will only be worse. Therefore, Su Junming completely gave up his plan to use the imperial edict of Qi to cause less killings, preserve the vitality of Jingshan as much as possible, and annex the place. Only by plowing through holes and sweeping holes can the dregs in Jingzhou be completely eradicated and become the true foothold of our Chongshan Academy in the world of immortality. We will obey our mentor's orders. He took out a magic bag from the storage gourd on his waist and sent it towards Li Ning. There are 1,874 teleportation arrays here, one in each prefecture. Li Ning took it respectfully. The teleportation array of Chongshan Academy is not only teleportation, but also has an array diagram on it. A teleportation array is an immortal array. When two teleportation formations are connected to each other, the power of the formation can be doubled. If all 1,874 teleportation arrays are connected to the earth veins, and activated by the disciples of Chongshan Academy, it will be enough to resist the existence of the Tai realm. After receiving the order, Li Ning returned to Tianhui Mountain, while Zhou Lang and Yang De took the teleportation array and went to all directions. They must put the teleportation array in place as soon as possible to welcome the army coming out of the sacred mountain outside the sky. After watching the three people leave, Su Junming stopped wandering around and took his two young apprentices directly to Shangyang City, where Jingzhou prefectural government is located. As the core of Jingzhou's prefecture and commanding 50 billion people, Shangyang City spans nearly 1,000 miles, like a huge beast, crawling on the ground. The city wall is 100 feet high, towering, and thick. The mottled traces reflect the vicissitudes of time. This majestic city is perhaps the most prosperous city in the entire Jingzhou. There are tens of millions of people living among them. Moreover, there are thousands of shacks built haphazardly around the majestic city. Countless homeless and beggars in rags, or even naked, sat on the street with numb expressions, letting mosquitoes and flies fall on their skinny bodies. This is a group of dead people who have lost hope. Seeing this situation for the first time, Sun Shi and Su Xian's eyes widened. I have a deeper understanding of the word poverty. Master, they. Su Xian hesitated for a while, but didn't know how to describe everything in front of him. After sighing, he put his hands on the heads of Sun Shi and Su Xian. A wave of warmth calmed their agitated moods a little. This is the reason why I founded Chongshan Academy. The high-ranking gods and powerful people never care about the lives of ordinary mortals. Only by defeating them all, creating a new world where all living beings are equal, and passing on the method of cultivation and the path to upwardness to every living being can truly achieve great good results and fundamentally prevent what you are seeing now. This is also the mission of every disciple of Chongshan Academy. The categorical words made the two people's eyes become countless times firmer in an instant. A sense of sacred mission rose from the bottom of their hearts and instantly filled every corner of their bodies. Disciples are only willing to follow their mentor, bring peace to the world, and rebuild the universe. Looking at the two disciples who had matured a lot in an instant, Su Junming nodded with satisfaction. The result of these words and deeds did not live up to the time he spent and the thousands of miles he took them from Hangzhou to here. Master, what should they do? Su Xian pointed to the poor kill outside the city. Don't worry, when our Chongshan Academy takes over Jingzhou, someone will naturally take care of them. Su Xian nodded. With a wave of his sleeves, the tyrannical power carried the two apprentices to the top of Shangyang City. Floating hundreds of feet in the air, you can see everything in the city. Under the dazzling sunshine, the majestic city towers are all filled with row upon row of tall buildings and mansions. They are prosperous and gorgeous, and indeed cannot be compared to the county and city. However, compared to Hangcheng County where he had stayed for 3 years, it was 3 points less wealthy and 5 points more cruel. Even in Shangyang City, there are beggars everywhere, and there is a heavy air of death. This place will end in my hands. With a snap of a finger and thunder, the city defense formation was instantly triggered. In an instant, a thick layer of 7-colored shield enveloped the entire Shenyang city. The sergeants protecting the city, wearing armor and holding weapons, walked to the top of the city in groups. Looking at their solemnity and majesty, their neat formation and their murderous intent, you can tell that they are well-trained elites. It seems that the general who is protecting Shenyang city is a capable person. After the soldiers set up a military formation under the leadership of officers at all levels, a 7-foot-tall general wearing a blue Lion King's heart armor, holding a spear, with a Chinese character on his face, and a majestic look on his face, drove the sitting green ox out of the crowd. Who is it? How dare you offend me in Shenyang city? The sound is loud and deep and can be heard thousands of miles away. After looking at him, Su Junming said calmly, "Where is Ding Yuan, the governor of Jingzhou?" Not long after, nearly 100 people wearing official robes flew in from the center of the city. At the front of the crowd was a rich old man wearing a purple robe and a crown, who looked noble and energetic. "I am Ding Yuan. Your Excellency has extraordinary cultivation. I wonder which Taoist temple you have mastered." Although he had never seen the green-robed man in front of him, to be able to shake the entire city defense formation of Shenyang city, his cultivation level must be above that of Yuan Yang true immortal. As the governor of Jingzhou, you must have received an imperial decree from the imperial court, ordering you to cede Jingzhou to the fiefdom of Chongshan Academy. Ding Yuan's expression changed. Of course he had received the imperial edict, but he never thought of giving up his position as Jingzhou governor. No matter how dilapidated Jingzhou is, it is still a huge state stretching thousands of miles across. As the governor of a state, having the entire state's luck on his shoulders has huge benefits. If this position were lost and returned to the imperial court, he would only get a sinecure at most. There is such a huge gap. As long as you are not stupid, you know how to choose. As for the monsters in Jingshan, they only eat 2 people occasionally, but there are plenty of people in Jingzhou. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a disciple of Taoist priest for us. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 821. It seems you already know. Su Junming noticed the change in Ding Yuan's expression. I see that you have some level of cultivation. We are both from the same human race, and we wanted to make friends. But I didn't know that you are actually a thief who deceives the public with your lies. General Qi, why don't you take action to kill this monster for our Qi country? The face of the general who was riding on the green bull, wearing a helmet and armor, changed slightly, and subconsciously looked towards Su Junming. The majesty and magnanimity of the other party were extraordinary, and he was obviously not an evil person. Moreover, Ding Yuan's tone just now was also quite strange. But as a soldier, it is his duty to protect his family and country and resist the demon clan. Therefore, he sincerely hates any behavior that divides countries. The order cede Jingzhou to Chongshan Academy made him even more disgusted. Therefore, he did not investigate whether this matter was true or false. He raised the spear in his hand, and a sound like thunder resounded throughout Shenyang city. Everyone listens to the order and kills the thieves who deceive the people with their evil words. Here. The neat echoes merged into a huge torrent, which was quite majestic. Under the urging of the military formation, the momentum of Shenyang city suddenly changed, an endless murderous intent enveloped all directions, and the murderous intent turned into a 1,000-foot-long blood-red giant spear. With its sharp and unstoppable momentum, even Yuan Yang Jingxian would not dare to attack it lightly. Su Junming put his hands behind his back, looked at everything happening in the city, and shook his head slightly. I wanted to have a nice talk with you, but I didn't expect that a fight would be inevitable in the end. Forget it, you can go to the cage and reflect. Open your left palm and take a photo from a distance. Amitabha divine palm. In an instant, the entire Shangyang city went dark. Seeing this huge palm and feeling the boundless power in it, no matter it was Ding Yuan, General Qi, or even the officials and troops behind them, their expressions changed. The 1,000-jong battle spear, which was enough to compete with the Yuanyang Golden Immortal, was wiped out in an instant like paper under the cover of the giant palm. The great power of Tai realm! Ding Yuan exclaimed, his face filled with regret. Pity. It's too late. After Su Junming took away his magical power, all those with evil spirits in Shangyang City disappeared. Master, your magical power is really powerful, I want to learn it too. Sun Shi's eyes were fiery. Su Xian's eyes were also filled with desire. He smiled and patted the two of them on the head. I will pass it on to you when you have reached the level of cultivation. Now, it is better to practice well. Take out a teleportation array platform from the magic bag and place it outside the city. Within a moment, countless warriors wearing armor walked out. Like an endless torrent, it quickly entered Shangyang City and took control of the situation in the city. In less than 3 days, the elite army accumulated over thousands of years in the sacred mountain world of Chongshan Academy quickly took control of all the counties in Jingzhou. After the fairy formation covering the whole state was completed, the army swarmed out and killed all the cannibal monsters scattered in the mountains. Then he began to equalize land for all people and establish a stable order, which quickly won the hearts of the people in Jingzhou. With this foundation, other regulations of Chongshan Academy, especially the most critical compulsory education system, can be fully implemented. Soon everything was on track. 300 million miles of Jingshan, like a prostrate dragon. Mountains, large and small, are stacked on top of each other, stretching to the end of the world. In this southern mountainous area full of strange peaks and rocks, countless springs and waterfalls, beautiful scenery, and rare and exotic animals, there is a valley with flowers blooming, turquoise and rocks that never grow old, and a scenery that lasts forever. A young man in a white robe, holding a folding fan, was walking among them. Although he seemed to be admiring the scenery, his eyes were dull and his steps were slow. It was obvious that his mind had no idea where to go. Suddenly, there was a sound of footsteps, and a demon general wearing armor with a rhinoceros shape on his head said respectfully, "Your Majesty, the Prince of Nanshan County is waiting at the front mountain." The young man in white robe was shocked. "I know, go down." "Yes." The man in white robe waved his sleeves, and the white robe turned into a suit of blue-white soft armor. The tip of his nose elongated and gradually turned into a sharp horn. The mouth expanded and the eyes became round, making the whole face look more ferocious. With a wave of his right hand, a water mirror about 10 feet in size appeared in front of him. After examining his appearance, the white-robed demon nodded slightly, then used his escaping light to arrive at the Qianshan cave house. This is a golden palace that is 100 feet wide and 9 feet high, supported by 9 golden pillars. The palace, which is illuminated by the night pearl, is decorated with gorgeous furnishings, almost no different from the palace. A middle-aged man wearing a dark purple robe and a gold crown with a thin face and a sinister expression was sitting in the hall drinking tea in the presence of the old god. "Ha ha, Brother Li, you are fine." Nanshan County Prince Li Hong stood up, looked at the white-armored demon striding towards him, and took the initiative to greet him. "We haven't seen each other for 10 years, but Brother Bai is still as charming as ever. It's really gratifying. Please take a seat. Please. Come here, serve some tea." Several gorgeous fox girls brought tea. After the two took a sip, Jingshan Great Demon Bai Sheng said directly, "Brother Li came to see me for some reason." Brother Bai is smart, he would have guessed it a long time ago. "But for King Yu Tao's birthday." Li Hong nodded. King Yu Tao has great supernatural powers and a wide range of contacts. For its birthday ceremony every 300 years, guests gather, and demons from hundreds of countries in the southern wilderness come to the scene one after another to preach, discuss scriptures, and compete in martial arts. It is really the first birthday ceremony in our southern wilderness. A great event not to be missed. My little brother thinks so too. It's just that this is the first time I've received an invitation and I don't understand the rules. In order to avoid offending King Yutao, I would like to ask Brother Li to take more care and take care of me. Haha, you and I are neighbors, so we should help each other. Brother Bai, don't worry. Just as Bai Sheng was about to say thank you, he was suddenly interrupted by the sound of hurried footsteps. Report. In the anxious voice, a wolf demon wearing armor hurriedly ran in. Seeing Bai Sheng sitting at the top, he turned over and prostrated. Your Majesty, there are 100,000 urgent letters delivered to Taicheng Mountain. Bai Sheng's expression, which was about to get angry, suddenly turned solemn. Jingshan is dominated by him, followed by Qinglong Mountain, Taicheng Mountain, Beizan Mountain, and Feiyun Mountain occupying the east, south, west and north respectively. The owner of each mountain is a great demon at the Yuanyang Golden Immortal level. There are millions of demon troops under his command, and they are very powerful. To be able to get Tai Changshan to retaliate with an urgent secret message was obviously a matter of life and death. Don't worry about getting angry. Bring it up. The wolf demon primary school quickly took off the mailbox from behind, held it in both hands, and handed it over respectfully. Bai Sheng used his hands to unlock the seal, and several pages of letter paper flew out. Read it 10 lines at a time. Bang, the tables and chairs were shattered. Bai Sheng glared angrily. What a courage! What made Brother Bai so angry? After Bai Sheng forwarded the letter to Li Hong, he said angrily, a small sect from the Qi Kingdom actually dares to offend our Jingshan monster clan. They really don't know how to live or die. Come here, order all your troops and destroy this bullshit Chongshan Academy. Brother Bai, wait a minute. After stopping him, he said, Brother Bai, I'm afraid this matter is not simple. Brother Li, you might as well say it directly if you have something to say. After nodding slightly. Everyone knows that Jingshan is your territory, brother. If you can ask Taicheng Mountain for help, at least it is a sect with Yuanyang Golden Immortal in command. How could these sects not know that Brother Bai's cultivation level has already reached the Tai realm? Knowing this, and still coming to invade, you are obviously prepared. A few words awakened Bai Sheng's mind filled with anger. You old man is very cautious. A clear voice sounded. Who? Bai Sheng and Li Hong stood up with a sharp voice, one golden and one green and black, two powerful momentums rising into the sky. The former transformed in mid-air into a strong rhinoceros that was all white but had a single golden horn. The latter transformed into a statue of a demon with 2 heads and 4 arms. The latter's momentum is obviously stronger than the former, but both are powerful in the realm of Tai Celestial Immortal. At the entrance of the main hall, ripples suddenly appeared in the empty void, and a tall figure gradually became clear. This man is wearing a green Taoist robe, with a gold rope tied around his waist, and a green gourd tied around his left waist. He has an ancient face and his hair is tied up with a golden ring, hanging casually on the back of his head. Standing with his hands behind his back, his calm expression revealed a sense of majesty and domineering looking down on the common people. Hey! Ha! Bai Sheng and Li Hong activated Taoism in unison. In an instant, a sharp pure yang sword energy and a black weapon as fast as lightning hit the man in green robe. The sword energy and gun were in front of the man in green robe in a blink of an eye. But what shocked the two demons was that no matter how hard they pushed, the sword energy and gun could never hit each other. It was as if there were thousands of miles or even further distance between the two sides. Hushan Taoism. The great demon in the Tai realm was indeed extraordinary, and he realized it instantly. Only the Hushan Taoist method can enlighten the infinite space between dimensions. Su Junming waved his sleeves, and the two Taoist techniques that had exhausted their power were instantly destroyed. My black armor-splitting wheel. Li Hong's heart was shocked and painful. These are the few top-quality immortal weapons he has in hand. Who is your excellency? Why do you want to break into Xianyang Cave in Jingshan Mountain? Bai Sheng said cautiously. Su Junming smiled lightly. Others are polite before fighting, but it would be better for you to be polite before fighting. As for me, haha, it's the one you mentioned in your urgent letter, Su Junming, the headmaster of Chongshan Academy. Bai Sheng's expression changed, knowing that he might not be able to be kind today. We, the Jingshan monster clan, have always been kind to everyone and have never caused trouble. Why do you want to be my enemy? Being kind to all directions. Among the 7 countries around Jingshan, hundreds of millions of humans have died from the Jingshan monster clan. Why do you think I should be your enemy? After finishing his words, he turned his head. Are you Li Hong, the king of Nanshan County? Exactly down there. The Nanshan Kingdom is 400 million miles across, 180 million miles from east to west, and has trillions of people. You turn them all into ghosts. You deserve to die even more. As soon as these words came out, Li Hong's expression turned cold instantly. He originally intended to stay out of this fight in the Tai realm. After all, his relationship with Bai Sheng was not close enough to hurt him. But listening to Su Daoran's tone, it was obvious that he had no intention of letting him go. In this case, it was impossible to say that the two sides would join forces. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 822. Thinking of this, Li Hong looked towards Bai Sheng, and the other person's eyes happened to turn around as well. The two exchanged glances and understood each other's plans. This guy is really looking for death, Bai Sheng said happily. Let him deal with the Tai celestial immortal who is proficient in Hushan Taoism, and he doesn't have much chance of winning. But if there is Li Hong, a veteran ghost immortal from the Tai heavenly realm, the chances of winning will be much greater. Haha, brother Li, this time you and I will fight side by side. Left to your left and me to your right, get on. Li Hong gave the order, and the two of them rushed towards Su Junming like arrows. Pure Yang Infinite Divine Sword. A 10-foot-long sword light shot out from Bai Sheng's hand. The hot Pure Yang sword energy not only melts gold and iron, but is also sharp enough to cut through gold and jade. The demonic knife that devours the hearts of 10,000 ghosts. The cold sword energy, carrying the wail of death, was like a winding black snake, strange and sharp. One sword, one yin and one yang, like a pair of scissors, cutting towards Su Junming like lightning. Su Junming still stood with his hands behind his back. The swords came in front of him, and they seemed to splash waves of water. No matter how hard the two of them moved, they could not hurt themselves. If that's all you have, I'll take action. Li Hong's expression turned cold, and he made a hand seal, and the aura on his body became stronger and stronger. The true form of the ghost. In an instant, the ghostly aura, as thick as honey, rose into the sky like a storm. After a moment, a giant ghost with 2 heads and 4 arms, a mountain-shaped head, red hair, blue face, and gnarled muscles appeared in front of him. The tyrannical ghost energy not only overturned the main hall, but also broke the entire mountain into 2 pieces. Roar! Amidst the roar of the explosion, a snake-shaped scimitar thousands of feet long, with an extremely dark side embroidered with bones and skulls, and a gloomy black banner, a white bone lantern with a pale green flame appeared on 4 giant mountains. In the palm of your hand. Only one hand was empty, and as expected it was the black magic weapon taken away by Su Junming. The 3 magic weapons moved forward together. The sword's radiance seemed to open up the sky and walls. The flags rolled thousands of miles, like black mist filling the sky. Yin fire rises into the sky, like ice turning into hell. In an instant, within a radius of several thousand feet, there was almost death. Su Junming stood in mid-air with a calm expression. When you become a big man, your skills are just as weak. Suddenly his expression changed, and he formed several seals on his hands. The flow of time speeds up instantly. The next moment, a large black seal fell from the sky. The strong wind roared, as if a world had crashed down. Boom! The ground fell hundreds of feet. The layers upon layers were crushed instantly. Haha, Brother Li is very capable. Looking at the big black seal, there was a trace of enthusiasm in his eyes. This is a rare high-grade immortal treasure, which is enough to suppress the existence of a party's luck. Li Hong looked proud. It was also the Taoist who held the Huishan Taoist method and thought that the two of us could not do anything to him, so he was successfully attacked by my Black Mountain Seal. As expected, you are an old ghost with 10,000 years of history and a very thoughtful mind. If I hadn't had some tricks, you would have almost succeeded. Looking at the man in green robe who was still standing in the air with his hands behind his back, as if he had never moved, Li Hong was shocked and exclaimed. Impossible. Trying the power of time for the first time, Su Junming deeply felt its power. He just accelerated the flow of time in the 3-foot space around him. After the power of the Black Mountain Seal passed, he slowed down time and restored the normal flow of time in the earthly immortal realm. There was no loss at all, and he escaped even Tai Xianxian once. Ways to deal with it carefully. Time is the emperor and space is the king. It is indeed not groundless. Looking at Li Hong with a face full of disbelief, Su Junming stretched out his hand and with surging magic power, a huge black bell with a height of thousands of feet appeared in the air. Thunder with a snap of fingers. The Lost Soul Bell. The strange bells, with the powerful power of soul dropping, swept across all directions. With Su Junming's perfect cultivation level as Tai Celestial Immortal, he is still above Li Hong and Bai Sheng. Moreover, this is the Dragon Emperor's innate magical power, and its power is extremely powerful. Although he was subconsciously on guard, Li Hong, who was in shock, only felt a buzzing in his head. 3 souls and 7 souls were floating around, his soul was scattered, his magic power collapsed, and his ghostly body was disintegrating inch by inch. Several magic weapons also dimmed, returned to their original appearance, and fell from the sky. On the contrary, Bai Sheng, whose whole body was shrouded in a layer of brilliant golden light, was not affected at all. I almost forgot. The sun-chasing rhinoceros is part pure yang, and the single horn on top contains the essence of the great Sunday. It is invincible to all evil. No wonder it can block my soul-destroying bell. Bai Sheng took a deep breath and solidified Su Junming. Your Excellency, you really want to fight me to the death? You need to know that my Tongtian Rhinoceros clan has countless strong men, and the ancestors of our clan are even in the Great Luo realm. Even if you kill me today, you will be killed by the ancestors of my clan in the future. Under the knife. What if you and I give up and make peace? I can give up Jingshan and give Chongshan Academy as the foundation of the section. Su Junming waved his left palm, and layers of space flooded Li Hong and sealed the Tai Ghost Immortal. He looked directly at Bai Sheng with calm eyes. I want Jingshan. As for the Tongtiangzi clan, they will be just my subordinates in the future, so there is nothing to fear. Point your finger. There was a sound of clang, clang in the air, and in an instant, hundreds of chains were like giant pythons swimming in the river, going straight towards Bai Sheng to strangle him at a very fast speed. It was Renwuji's natal magical power, the soul-binding rope. As one of Su Junming's 7 soul Dharmakayas, whether it is Renwuji, Longdi, Aotian, or Tai, Su Junming can use the innate magical powers they have comprehended. After activating the Talisman of Creation, hundreds of soul-binding ropes instantly turned into thousands, and the sky turned dark in an instant. Bai Sheng was shocked. His natal magical power, golden light of the sun, could block the soul-falling bell just now, but it could not block these thousands of soul-locking chains. Fight! Bai Shen gritted his teeth and quickly formed seals with his hands. In the complicated hand seals, the endless pure golden light gradually condensed, and at the same time, a long red arrow appeared above the head. Shooting the sun shooting arrow, pardon. The next moment, the golden light in the palm turned into a simple carved bow, and the long red arrow flew down the bowstring. The moment the two merged into one, the momentum rose sharply. Su Junming instinctively felt a powerful threat from the golden arrow. Buzz! The bow shook like a thunderbolt. A bright golden light, like the rising sun, instantly penetrated the layers of chains and came to Su Junming. The sharp arrow light instantly passed through the layers of space he laid. The speed was so fast that he couldn't even place a new space barrier. Fortunately, he still has time. Time slows down. Everything in front of me suddenly slowed down. With one step, the space was transformed, and he instantly dodged the arrow. Bai Shen was breathing heavily, sweating profusely, and looked extremely exhausted. This sun-shooting arrow is the magical power of the sun-chasing Sky Rhinoceros clan. Rumor has it that an old member of the Tongtian Rhino clan got a sun-shooting arrow from the Wu clan's great god Houyi by chance. He understood the mystery and understood it. In conjunction with the sun-chasing Tongtian Rhino's natural golden light of the sun, it is extremely powerful. Although it is not as powerful as shooting sun arrows to kill immortals and gods, it is still an incredible magical power. Bai Shen used his natal immortal treasure to shoot the sun in conjunction with the arrow, which was even more sharp. If it were other monks in the same realm, if they didn't have this important treasure in hand, they would definitely perish. It's a pity that he met Su Junming, a proud man who also practiced 12 Taoist methods and had many treasures. Seeing the green-robed Taoist who was still unscathed after the arrow, Bai Shen was instantly frightened. With a step, his body turned into golden light and fled madly into the distance. He waved his sleeves to collect the golden arrow, looked at the retreating figure, and smiled faintly. Who can outrun the practitioners of Hu Tiandao? With one step, he appeared thousands of feet in front of Bai Shen. The latter's spirit suddenly appeared, and when he saw that he couldn't hide, his expression instantly became fierce. Kill you. Transform yourself. A white rhinoceros that was 1,000 feet tall, with 4 hooves as big as mountains, and a single golden horn on its head, rushed towards Su Junming crazily. Anyone who is timid will subconsciously avoid it if they see such a giant bull bumping into it. But Su Junming didn't. He knew very well that the big guy in front of him was at the end of his rope. Opening his left palm, layers of water waves quickly expanded around him. The white rhinoceros collided with it, and while ripples rippled, its giant body of thousands of feet slowly shrank in size. When he noticed something unusual and wanted to run away, the Ksatagarbha divine gate descended from the sky, shrouded in silver white light, and the sealed divine light bloomed. Let this reckless big guy gradually calm down. Looking at the sun-chasing rhinoceros in the palm space, he nodded with satisfaction. But after his eyes glanced at the Ksatagarbha divine gate, his brows couldn't help but frown. As he advanced to the Tai realm, the lower-grade innate spiritual treasure level Sankei Shenmen could no longer meet his needs. However, middle-grade innate spiritual treasures are hard to find, and it is almost impossible to bring Sankei Shenmen to a higher level. He shook his head and postponed the matter for the time being. Spreading his right hand, a black gourd appeared in his palm. It was Zhenjun Tai Swanyan gourd that he borrowed when he came to Jingshan. With a burst of magic power, a soul-calling flag flew out from the gourd's mouth. The flags flew automatically without wind, and mysterious lights flew out, covering the souls of Bai Shen and Li Hong. After collecting the soul imprints of the 2 demons, put away the Swanyan gourd. He activated the Taoist method and began to check the memories of the 2 demons. Li Hong went very smoothly. Tens of thousands of years of life were presented in front of Su Junming like a movie. But Bai Shen encountered difficulties here. He could see the other person's life, but when it came to his major skills and the magical power of shooting sun arrows, this memory suddenly collapsed. Let out a light sigh. Seal. After feeling it carefully, Su Junming understood. This was the first time he encountered this situation. As expected, they are indeed the top group among the demon tribes in the world. After admiring, he frowned slightly. He understood that it would be increasingly difficult to obtain other people's inherited skills by peeking into memories like he did before. Fortunately, I still have a bronze mirror. If I spend more time, I can always understand the subsequent techniques. He shook his head and waved to release Bai Sheng and Li Hong. The two demons have become turtles in his urn, and if the Swanyan gourd is not destroyed, they will never be able to break free.